Diana Leone was born on the 3rd of August 1964. Diana met David Dale Morgan when she was 16 and he was 50 years old. Her sister's boss introduced the two, and soon Leone began working for Morgan at Abacus Storage, collecting rent and answering the phone. Shortly after, the couple started a relationship, and by the time she was 19 she had moved in with him, as well as his 2 children from a previous marriage. Initially it appeared the relationship was a happy one. The couple had 2 of their own children, and Morgan's company was doing well. Financially, the couple were doing well. It was believed that David was worth over $2 million, and eventually the pair got their own family home in the 3000 block of West Ticos Avenue in Las Vegas, not far from the Strip. However, by the late 1980s, law enforcement had visited the couple on several occasions upon reports of domestic violence, and things would get worse. David was charged with her attempted murder in 1989 after he beat her with a pipe, and Leone suffered numerous fractures. The charges were dropped after Diana refused to testify against him in court, but despite this the couple remained together, and the violence continued. He was charged with child endangerment in 1992, domestic violence in 1997, and domestic violence again in March of 1999. On all occasions, Diana refused to cooperate with law enforcement. Leone was last seen in Las Vegas in February of 2000. She left behind all of her personal belongings, including her clothes, money and vehicle. David never reported her as a missing person. He claimed that Diana was having an affair with a man named Tim, and said that she left Las Vegas with him. One of Leone's family members alerted law enforcement about her disappearance in October of 2000, 8 months after she vanished. Leone and David's 7-year-old daughter told the authorities that she witnessed her parents arguing the night before Diana vanished. The child reported that David pushed Diana through a plate glass window inside their residence, then smashed her head into the refrigerator. It's believed that the argument centred around David's suspicions that Diana was having an affair. After conducting a search of the couple's home, investigators discovered evidence that suggested Leone did not leave of her own accord. Blood was found inside the home and near Diana's vehicle, but it is unclear if it was ever identified as Diana's. Not much further is noted about the investigation, but it appeared without a body and without more evidence, police couldn't prove anything happened to Diana at the property, and the case went cold. But the story wouldn't end there. Prior to meeting Diana, David's second wife, Maria Morgan, also vanished under suspicious circumstances from Las Vegas in 1980, 20 years prior to Leone's disappearance. Records showed that an employee of the city's Women's Crisis Centre reported Marie as a missing person shortly after her disappearance. She received assistance from the centre after she reported David's alleged abuse. He never contacted authorities regarding his wife's disappearance, and said that he believed Marie left with boyfriend Gabriel Vincent. Morgan and Marie and their 2 children lived on site at Abacus Mini Storage, where Morgan also allowed Fred Hackett and his wife Avis to live and work. In the late 1970s, an orderly at Sunrise Medical Centre named Gabriel Vincent rented a storage unit and got to know Marie. Vincent was a drifter from California and had a criminal record. He'd spent time in prison for auto theft and robbery. He'd been arrested 14 times, and the two began an affair. Vincent apparently took photographs of Marie performing sex acts and attempted to blackmail David. David was said to be enraged by this. In November of 1979, Vincent would disappear. 7 months later, Marie would disappear. Marie's sister, Kim Smith, would later tell detectives that Morgan confessed to her, saying he went nuts upon seeing the photos and hid in the bushes near Vincent's storage unit for days, waiting to ambush him. When Vincent finally showed up, Morgan allegedly shot him in the testicles and then in the chest. Not much was said or asked about the whereabouts of Morgan's second wife Marie, who vanished in 1980, but Diana had her suspicions. She told police investigating the 1989 domestic violence case that she was told by David and Marie's children that Marie was dead. The son told me major stuff about where he thinks she's buried, and all the time he used to beat her up, Leone said in the taped interview. In 1985, investigators received another account involving Morgan. His sister told investigators Morgan called her and asked her to meet at his home. David told her he had shot and killed Marie because she was going to leave him. David informed his sister that he had taken the body out past Indian Springs and buried the body along the highway. He then, according to her account, forced her at gunpoint to go back out to where he had buried the body of Marie and move it. She drove with David to the area of mile marker 124 on Highway 95, and they uncovered a dead body that was tied up in a blanket. They moved the body further out into the desert area and buried it in a deeper hole that Dolores helped David dig. His sister stated that some months later, David again forced her back to the gravesite. David had filled a 55-gallon drum with water in the back of his truck and drove it out to the gravesite. He carried bags of cement out into the desert while he forced his sister to hold buckets of water so he could pour cement over the gravesite. But when she tried to show the alleged gravesite to detectives in 1985, she couldn't find the location. A search of a 2-mile surrounding area found no clues. Recent searches by volunteers also turned up nothing. It now appeared 3 people with close ties to David Morgan had disappeared. But the disappearances would not end there. Donald Cowan, a former business associate of Morgan's, disappeared in 1982. His vital statistics are unavailable and little information is available in his case. In 2007, Morgan was arrested and charged with Vincent's murder. The case was reopened after Fred Hackett told police he witnessed David murder Vincent and helped dispose of his body. Hackett's account of Vincent's murder is similar to the other account of David's confession. The murder case against David was dropped in 2012, however, because Hackett had died and prosecutors couldn't prove David's guilt without his testimony. As of 2025, the disappearances of Gabrielle Vincent, Marie Morgan, Diana Leone and David Cowan remain open and unsolved.